Hey guys, welcome back. It's Neil, and Toby Fox just posted something kind of crazy on Bluesky, and I wanted to cover it. Basically what he posted was, I showed my family and friends a minigame I've been working on for Deltarune, and they all described it as a cry for help because your game is not out yet. Which is pretty funny. I feel like Toby would, in-game, you'd be able to see and tell that the lack of release has kind of also affected the way he's making the game. Maybe not majorly, like cataclysmically, like enemies are different, but like maybe in the dialogue or like the way the minigames work. Because in chapter 2, I remember this, I don't remember it perfectly, but it was something along the lines of, I think Rouse said, it's felt like forever since they last came to the Dark World, even though it's literally been like yesterday, like a day ago in like the game's time. And that's obviously a jab to the fact that it took like 3-4 years for chapter 2 to come out. And now we kind of went through the same thing with chapter 3 and 4. Except we're finally getting it. Soon, like it's almost out. And then he goes on to say, my family clarified that it was a good thing. My other friend didn't clarify, but they did laugh for about 10 minutes straight hearing me play it. Maybe it's difficult, the minigame? Same friend who played chapter 3 like over a year ago also told me, I miss Tenna. And I was like, man, that's something no one in the world has ever said, huh? It's actually insane to hear Toby Fox name drop Tenna like that so casually in some random ass tweet. It's not even like an update on the game or anything. It's just, he name drops Tenna. It's kind of mind-blowing because he usually doesn't do things like this. This also led a lot of people, including Dork, to say, oh god, is Tenna going to be the Birdly of chapter 3? Which I think might be the case. Honestly, I always thought Tenna was going to be like, maybe not exactly like Birdly, but also like an assistant to maybe Mike, who I think Mike is going to be the main boss or villain of chapter 3. As Mike's just been hyped up more, Mike's been alluded to by Spamton. And Tenna we only got one little thing of. So I think Tenna might be some quirky, kind of, not as serious as Mike, but still like an antagonistic force. Think like Birdly, but like more evil and nefarious. But the fact that they missed Tenna is making me think, maybe Tenna's gonna be like Birdly in the case of the Weird Route and like Snowgrave. So maybe Tenna's gonna die. I know, so that's a little bit like, there's no evidence backing this up, but it just makes me think, maybe Tenna's gonna die. Or maybe something happens to Tenna no matter what you do, and that's why you miss Tenna. But that is funny because no one has actually ever said that in the world. Like, if you think about it, Toby probably has, like, so many characters that no one has ever said, like, ever talked about. And it's just, as a game developer, it's probably insane for him to be thinking like, oh, only I know about this. That's probably insane. So yeah, that's basically about it for today's update. But I do want to go over like a prediction that I have for the release date, because I've never really done one of these before. Let me go over here to the past Bluesky posts. A month ago, around, like literally almost a month ago, Jockington says, apparently, Happy New Year, friends. Deltarune Chapter 4 is now being bug tested by a professional team on PC. His Nont catchphrase. And then he goes on to saying, not sure when the next newsletter will be. I'm just going to try to give small updates as they become relevant. Which, at first I thought that meant, oh, we have a long way to go to the next newsletter. But I'm starting to think that Toby just doesn't know when the newsletter is going to be, because he wants to align it for when he drops major news or like a release date, or when he knows the game's going to be out. Because I think what's going to happen is he's going to drop the next newsletter. It's going to include the trailer, and then the trailer is going to say a month in advance when the release date is. So for example, if the newsletter happens next month in March, the release date would be April. Or if it happens in June, the release date would be in July. I'm just speculating here. Because he dropped the trailer for Undertale, and I believe a month later it dropped. And Toby is one to give like very short notices to when his games drop. And I know Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 is his most ambitious thing yet, as it's the first official release of Deltarune. But I do think his release schedule would be kind of like, would be similar. I only think he'd break this pattern for like Deltarune Chapter 7, like the very end of Deltarune. Toby then goes to say, like 19 days ago, translation, the text and implementation are done, working on some last fix issues, and testing still ongoing. And one tester said players will find it very inconvenient that you cannot save or load during the light world. I was initially resistant, but I decided to add save points there in Chapter 4. I've seen a lot of people come up with the idea that the save point is going to be like a dog that you can click on because you can't canonically save in the light world, which I think would be cool. But wouldn't it be so cool if the light world save points are the Undertale save points? That'd be so sick. It would also kind of relate to the theory that the theory video that we're making. It's gonna drop soon. Trust. It's gonna be fire. 6 days ago, he said, Chapter 4 PC testing / translation is winding down, no longer looking for issues, only fixing and checking the remaining ones. And console testing started tomorrow, so it's already started. Gonna test Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 on all platforms. So, Chapter 1 and 2 should be fine with the testing. And 3 and 4, well, I'm assuming it's gonna take longer. But console testing and porting has never really been that difficult. But reading between the lines, a lot of people are saying that console porting is going to be what's starting. But actually, they're saying it's console testing, so it's already ported. They're just testing it. And then in a follow-up tweet, he says that the PlayStation requires trophies, so he had to make some and then send it back to the testers to test the trophies. I don't think this is going to take very long, because porting never really took that long. At max, I think it was a month for Chapter 2. And I don't think 3 and 4, them being 2 chapters, is going to take longer necessarily. I think it's just working out the kinks in the actual system itself, like the bugs and everything that happens when you port things. I think this is going to be around 2 to 3 weeks. Because the porting's done, it's testing that needs to be done. Unless, of course, something, like, problematic happens behind the scenes. As in, like, there are major bugs that need to be worked on. So it might take a month or even a month and a half if we're like, unlucky. But other than that, I think we're looking forward at a very bright future. I think it will drop in April, maybe late April, and okay, I'm going to be safe. I'm going to say April to May, because there's only last minute bugs, console testing that needs to be finished, and promotional material that needs to be out. If we're talking about a month, that'll bring us to March. Let's say the newsletter drops in March or April, and the game releases April to May. That would be so good. I am so excited for this new chapter of Deltarune, and it's actually insane that he name-dropped Tenna. It's sounding like Tenna is going to be a fun character. I'm going to love watching people speculate about this online for the next couple weeks before Toby Fox drops Chapter 3 and 4 literally next week. Trust me, guys, it's going to happen. Anyways, that's about it for this video. I'm trying something new just to see how this does in the algorithm, how you guys enjoy it. I'm not really hyping this up in our Discord, which you should definitely join, by the way. So I don't really have that momentum. But if you did enjoy, like, subscribe, comment, give us your feedback if you like this style of content. Let us know if you're excited for Chapters 3 and 4, because we will be streaming it, as we do for many other games. We play a lot of games, so if you're into, like, Deltarune / Undertale, Pokemon, we're playing Black Myth Wukong right now. We play a lot of FNAF games. If you're into that, basically any type of streaming, this is the right place. Anyways, that's about it, and have a good one. Friend inside me. RNG friend cat.